For the rugged. For the rugged. Been a little too nice to y'all. Now I gotta up price on y'all. Snake eyes on dice for y'all. Shoulders on ice for y'all. 8-6 all the hay. I won't get involved today. Got lost in the ball and A's. I'm flipping the bars. I'm flipping the. On record, off record. I still count wins when they got it. On record, off record. I let them take advantage. I was wildin'. On record, off record deals. Tell them talk to Colin for the quote. On record, off record. I still want to act, not the ghost.
Alright, well, it's another beautiful Sunday. We're out here at the park once again. I'm not doing any gimmicks today. Well, I guess I kind of am. So we're not doing the multiple equipment like we did last week, but I did get that fancy new toy that I was talking about last week, and here it is. The new GoPro 7 Hero Black, or GoPro Hero 7 Black, however you want to pronounce it. This is it. Hyperstabilization. I was out at a DAG event, which DAG is a different form of game from AmpGuard, but I'll cover that in a later video. But I was out at a DAG event yesterday and I got some really good footage on this. It's super stable. I've already practiced kind of vlogging on it. I love the way it looks. Today I'm gonna see if I can get into the action. It's some kind of big event going on today. I believe it's mid-rain, which I don't really know what that means. It's always mid-rain here, so I don't, seems like it's mid-rain every week. But anyways, it's mid-rain, so there should be lots of fighting, some tournaments. Good time to test the GoPro and get some fighting in, for sure. So, like I said earlier, today isn't just a normal day of LARPing. Today is a special event known as Mid-Rain, and that has something to do with the fact that the game has like politics in it, and like there's kings and there's queens and dukes and duchesses and stuff like that. So I'm not exactly clear on what Mid-Rain is because I never involved myself with the politics, but since I want to do this new series about educating you guys on kind of LARPing and what LARPing is and everything that comes with it. That's what the next couple of videos are going to be focusing on, mostly just LARPing. So I'm going to go around, I'm going to try to find someone who can accurately explain to you guys what's happening today so that you can understand what I don't understand. Okay, so this is Weasel. He's a good friend of mine. Weasel, can you explain to them what a mid-rain is and how often it comes around? Because it seems like to me every other day is mid-rain.
I know, right?
Feels like, yeah.
So there's two different kinds of mid-rains. There's the park mid-rain and then there's the kingdom mid-rain. And so most of the time they're really closely timed. So this is our park mid-rain, and then our kingdom mid-rain is going to be the first weekend of February. The Kingdom Mid-Rain is always a camping event where we go and we camp usually at Lone Star. Our Park Mid-Rain just takes place here at the park, and it's more of like a celebration of what we've done so far during the first half of the rain. And it's a chance for the person in charge to hand out some awards to people that he hasn't had a chance to do before.
All right, so that's kind of what mid-rain is. That's what I couldn't explain to you guys because I'm not too knowledgeable about the politics of this game. But yeah, now you know a little more than I did.
Look how ridiculously torn up this lacrosse glove is. This is the equipment I work with.
If y'all want to see me do a video on like my equipment and the equipment I use and the differences between equipment that I use and other people use, let me know if that's something you're interested in. Maybe I'll make a whole video based on equipment, you know, good, bad, and used.
Alright, so now we got all these cones laid out here.
They're gonna do what's called a battle game, which is basically like the official organized game of whatever we're doing today. So before it was ditching, that's just like a warm-up game, but battle games take place on the field where there's classes, there's certain weapons you have to use, certain goals you have to meet. Yeah, and that's what we're gonna do next. So this is where I'm really gonna try to use the GoPro, and actually I'm gonna switch over to that right now.
All right, and now we are on the GoPro Hero 7. I believe it's 2.7K with 120 frames a second. That way I can get some really good slow motion, which is something I lack in a lot of the video I shoot. So now it's gonna be a little smoother than what it usually is. This is the first camera I've ever had that's 120 frames a second. Okay, so quick change in settings. I actually set it back to 4K and 60 because I realized that with 2.7K and 120, well, anything with 120, it's going to give me that good slow motion, but it's not going to give me the hyper smooth stabilization, which is what we're trying to do today. So I've got it set to 4K 60 with hyper stabilization on, and maybe later I'll try 120 frames per second. That way we can check out some slow motion on this. But for now, all that's important is that we have stable, good-looking shots. Alright, so I'm actually really pleased with what I've reviewed so far on the GoPro. The footage is looking really stable. It's kind of shaky here and there, but that's because I'm like really booking it to keep up with them. But other than that, the shot is like really clean and really smooth. So it's looking good so far, and I'm only at about 50% battery. If I had to guess how long that game took, I'd say it was about like a 30-minute game, 45 minutes. I don't know. It was a good long game, but I've been recording consistently for a while. Turning it off in between rounds, and it got me to about 50% battery. So it's looking good so far. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next segment of what I want to do today. Okay, so along with teaching you guys a little about the sport and showing you what it is I do on Sundays, I also want to start tracking my progression as a fighter and trying to improve more and more at this game that I play. So what I'm gonna do is, behind me, I hope I have the framing right, but behind me is my friend Jamie. Jamie's an amazing fighter. He's really good. He's been playing for a long time, him and his wife, and he's one of the best out here that I know. So I'm basically going to be comparing my skill to Jamie. We're going to be doing 10 rounds of certain categories. So we're going to be doing 10 rounds of single sword, 10 rounds of sword and board, and 10 rounds of Florentine, which is one sword in each hand. And I'm basically going to track how many wins I get. And I understand that's not a very good scientific way to do this because, you know, there's all kinds of factors into play when it comes into fighting, but that's kind of how I want to track how I'm doing as a fighter. So especially with Florentine and single sword being my weakest categories, I really want to work on those the best. So I'm gonna go spar with Jamie, and also this is gonna be a good opportunity to test the 120 frames per second on the camera, get some good smooth slow motion camera. There he is. That's Jamie. So yeah, we're gonna get started with that, and I'll check back in with you guys. Wow, okay, so that video was a lot longer than I had originally intended it to be, so sorry about that. But if you stuck around this long, thank you. Don't worry, I am going to post the rest of me and Jamie sparring. I'm just going to do it in its own separate video. That way you guys don't have to stick around for the rest of it if you don't want to see it. But that'll be coming soon, so stay posted. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this video off right here, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying this LARPing series that I'm doing. If there's anything specific you want to see from it or anything specific you want to know, let me know in the comments down below. Like this video if you liked it, and don't forget if you want to support me personally, just subscribe to the channel. Alright guys, I really appreciate y'all spending time here, and I'll see you on the next one.